Today, I'll be walking you through the fundamentals of data analysis, what you need to know to get started in the field of data analysis, and importantly, this is a video of our physical training we had last month. My name is Yakub Adam Ibrahim, popularly known as Othello. Join me as we move along in this course. Okay, you'll be hearing the word data all around. So what's data? What's data? Data is actually a raw fact, unorganized, that needs to be processed. Data can be something simple and apparently useless unless it is processed. So in the field of data science and data analysis, there's a difference between data and information. So what's data? What's information? As I've said, data is actually a raw fact that is yet to be processed. So what's information? Information is when data has been organized, presented in a given context for decision making. That is what we refer as information. Data is actually an input, while information is an output we get from data. Data is insufficient for decision making, but information is sufficient for decision making. Data do not carry a logical meaning, but information carries a logical meaning. Example of data is you saying Othello red car 2022, while information is saying Othello bought a red car in the year 2022. So data is actually a raw fact that is yet to be processed, and we derive information from data. So, and the duty of data analysis is to transform data into information, which I'll be sharing to you in a moment. Okay, and the first thing we have here is, what do you understand as data? What do you understand as data? Data, as I've said, data is simply any raw fact you are taking note of or keeping track of. It can also be defined as any raw information that is yet to be processed. Data is not necessary to be stored on the computer. It could be noted in your mind, written down in a jotter, and the likes like that. So that's what we basically refer as data. So as I've said, there's a difference between data and information. Data is a raw fact, while information is when the data has been processed. So data is an input, while information is output. Data do not carry logical meaning, but information carry logical meaning. Example of data is saying Othello red car 2022, while information is saying Othello bought a red car in 2022. So we can get a message from that data. So that's what we mean as information. So then the next thing I'll be talking about is, who is an analyst? An analyst is someone who simply breaks down things in the simplest level. While a professional analyst must have a good simplifying skills. An analyst must have good communication skills. That's what we refer as analyst. Analyst is simply someone that breaks down things to the simplest level. So we move to, who is a data analyst? A data analyst is someone who simply gives a simplifying breakdown of data. In another word, a data analyst is someone who inspects, clean, transform data in order to get useful information about that data and to make conclusion on it. In a nutshell, a data analyst makes business see or discover information they merely couldn't discover from their data. So that's just the duty of data analyst in short. Okay, I'll be very brief in this presentation. So why is data analysis advisable in the 21st century? Okay, data is actually everywhere. Data keep increasing as technology keep increasing, as business grow. Data field is broad and crucial for every business. So let me tell you, there is no business you try to break through today in this 21st century that does not deal with data. Data is actually everywhere. So that's why data is advisable in the 21st century. Okay, some basic concepts of data analysis. We have data mining, we have data profiling, data wrangling, and the likes like that. So what's data mining? Data mining is the process of finding relevant information that has not been found before. It is the way in which your data is turned into valuable information. Then we have data profiling. Data profiling is usually done to assess a data for its uniqueness, consistency, and logic. It cannot identify incorrect and inaccurate data values. I'll be sharing this slide with you in a moment. Then data wrangling. This is the process of cleaning and transforming data, enriching the data to a desirable format. So that's what we mean as data wrangling. Just about cleaning that data, reshaping that data. That's what we mean as data wrangling. So the process involved in data analysis. We have understanding the problem. One is the very first thing you need to know. You have to understand the problem. Then also data collection, data cleaning and transforming, data exploration and analysis, and data visualization and interpretation. So what are the tools involved in data analysis? We have the knowledge, Microsoft Excel, Power BI or Tableau, SQL, Python or R. Then what are the pros and cons of MS Excel? It's actually simple to learn, that's one of the pros. Then it's has high risk of human error. 2, manually customizable, drag, etc. and so on, but not really set up for automation. Okay, there are types of data in data analysis. One is the clean data and the unclean data. So I'll be talking about the unclean data first. So what's unclean data? Unclean data is when our data is having some kind of particles, some things that needs to be taken out away before we can go ahead with whatever analysis or reporting we need to do on that data. The clean data is one which has been transformed, which there is already is okay for reporting, maybe or visualization and so on like that. So clean data is actually the opposite of unclean data, as we all know. So we have the more details of this in the slide which I'll be sharing with you. Okay, you can read more on it. I said unclean data, this is when your data is not compatible with your machine or software. The data does not befit the machine properly, or unorganized and confusing to the machine. It consists of varieties of what particles. So what we have clean data. Okay, this data is compatible with your machine or software, organized, and the machine fully understand what is present in every columns and rows. It lacks unnecessary particles. This can be grouped into what? Two again. Under clean data, we still have two types of data again under what? Clean data. So the very first one you have here is the human friendly data. So and what we're talking about human friendly data is human friendly data is the type of data whereby you can only read it, but the machine is actually this type of data. Don't forget this is actually falls under clean data. It's actually clean, but it is actually readable to you alone. And one of the thing about working with MS Excel and like, because in this course we'll be talking about MS Excel. So one of the things, the fundamentals you need to know about MS Excel is that you need to allow Excel to understand every bit of things in each columns. So then Excel would work along with you. So this kind of data that falls under human friendly data is type of data that you are the only one that can understand and read and understand what is in every columns, but the machine still don't understand it. Then what's machine friendly data? Is when this data appear goods to both you and your machine, when both of you can tell the data types of what is in every columns. So that's what we mean by machine friendly data. Okay, for this course we'll be talking about MS Excel, and in our subsequent one we'll be talking about Power BI and something like that. Okay, I'll briefly explain the interface of MS Excel. Here we have the file. We have the file which can do a lot of things. You can see info about the file, the new, the open, the save as, the print, the share, export to PDF, a lot of things like that. So then we also have the home ribbon. We have home ribbon, the insert ribbon, which you can find a lot of things we can do there. Then this place is referred as the quick access toolbar. Okay, because this is actually a presentation, I'll be moving straight to the points in this video. Okay, so I'm in Excel 5.101 workbook. It's contained multiple worksheets. This is, we have the database worksheet, the define names worksheet, the conditional formatting, the count is and averages and so on like that worksheet. We also have the VLOOKUP. I'll be performing all these things. So what's the difference between a worksheet and a workbook? A worksheet, this is actually a worksheet, I'm in a worksheet. Then the combination of multiple worksheets refers as what? A workbook. So please note that. And you need to also note that Excel contains 1,048,576 rows. We can confirm that here. And Excel has column extended to XFD. You can see that in this place, XFD. So that's the count of columns we have in Excel. Okay, one of the very first thing I would love to do in this presentation is how to create a table. So I'll be creating a table by adding a new worksheet in this place by clicking on this plus sign. Okay, I'm in a new worksheet. Then I can rename it, then table. Let's just create a table, then see how to create a table in this place. Table. Good. Then okay, I'll be having some details there. Student name, level, departments, school. Okay, Adam Yakub 300, economics, last. Okay, one of the very first thing you need to always do when you are creating a table in Excel, you need to always format this header. That is differentiating your header from the rest of your data. So, and you can do that by clicking OK, coming to this fill color, then this clicking on the font again to change the font color again. So since I've done that formatting to a particular cell, I don't have to redo it to other ones. I can just use this format printer by copying that formatting. That's when I'm talking about formatting, I'm talking about the coloring I've added to this, to a particular cell or a particular thing. So I want to use that format pattern to paste it to the rest of them. Okay, like this and so on, like that. So when I'm done, I just click on it. Okay, then I can keep adding more details like that. Your MIDI, then 400. Okay, business, Taisho line. Okay, I also have Unilag. Okay, marketing, then 200. Wow. Okay, then let me add one more because okay, 100. Then let me see, IRPM, then Accord. So I've actually created a table in MS Excel. So one thing you need to observe about entering text and a number in Excel is that Excel align every alphabet to the left side. It's actually very important for you to know. And Excel align every numbers to the right side. So actually all those facts is important for you to know in MS Excel because it's helping a lot in analysis. Okay, so I've created a table. So but the basic thing, important thing is when creating a table, always give it this header. It's important. So that's it. So let's move to the next thing I would love to talk about in this place. Okay, let's move to define names. Okay, before this define names, I'll be showing you some functions you will find in Excel, how to use them like that. Okay, this is the salary column. You can see after opening this data, I'm seeing something like hash. It means that column is too small for that value. So let me expand it for us to see the value there. Okay, how does it just come to this place and double tap? Then the column will be expanded. Okay, let me show you how to use some functions in this presentation. Okay, this is how we do it. Let's say I want to sum up all the salaries in that column. I want to sum up all the salaries. I want to know the values of all the salaries. All I will do is just use Control down arrow to move to the last cell. Then I'll be using is equality sign sum. Then the argument is number 1, number 2. Okay, and I have just one number because everything is presented in a particular column. All I will do is just select the whole of that column. Control Shift up arrow to select all that column. It's actually including my salary. As I've said earlier, just because I've formatted, this table was formatted, this header was formatted, like different from the rest of the data. So since I even packed it as part of what I want to add, I will not get an error. I will be getting a value because Excel understand that okay, that was an header. Then I hit enter. I'm getting an answer 61 million 300 and blah 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 and so on like that. Okay, so that's how to use the sum function. Okay, let me try to apply the sum function to this as well so you get it. Yes, let's say I want to sum up the years, though we don't sum up the years, but for you to understand how the sum function was, all I will be doing, I'll be starting with an equality sign. It's very important. Sum from this, then click all what I want to sum up, hit enter. So I'm getting the sum of all the years, but you know normally we won't be summing years, but this is just an experimental video for you to get how to use the sum function. Okay, let me delete that away. Okay, so that's how to use the sum function. It's actually sum all the values in a particular column or any values at all. So there are different ways to use there are different ways to use the sum function. Let's say for example you want to you have your value spread out. Okay, you can do sum. Okay, let's say okay, this is the value, then use a comma to separate it. Okay, that's one value. Okay, this is another value, comma, this is another value. Maybe those are all the things you want to sum together. Maybe for instance, then you close the parentheses again, then hit enter, you'll be getting a value for that thing. So that's how it works. So we also have the average functions. We have a lot of them like that. Let me copy this and to show you the average function. Copy, I pasted it there. So that I'll be doing something like it. I'll write something like sum here. Okay. Oh. I want to copy that formation, that format. Okay. Max, min, that count. Okay, we can perform this function as well in MS Excel. You'll see it. Okay. Okay. This is the value for my sum. Okay, I want to do average. Average. Then I can close my parentheses here. Enter. Then I'll be getting the average value for that salary. So let me do max again. Equality sign max from this place. Oh. Oh, I didn't use my parentheses. Okay, then I want to get the maximum, the highest salary out of this salary there. Is enter. I'm getting the maximum salary, which is 126,000. So then the minimum salary, that's the minimum salary, that's the smallest. Then I want to count, okay, how many salary were paid, how many salary. Then I can use the count function. Good. So these are the values I've gotten this with the functions in Excel. So a lot of things you can do with them like that. This would help you a lot of times in analysis. Okay, I'll be moving to the next thing. Then I want to show you defined names. So what do we refer as defined names? Defined names. Okay, defined name is about giving a particular column or a particular cell a name. So for easy referencing. Okay, if you notice at this, what I was doing at this place, I was actually, when I click on it, I was actually imputing the equality sign, the sum, and giving it the range. What we have in this middle is what we have in this parenthesis is what we refer as a range. The C5 to C746, that's what we refer as a range. I can redo this thing again by not imputing this range, by giving this column a name, such that I can always refer to that column wherever I am in that worksheet. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that out. Okay, what I'll be doing now is I'll be giving that column a name. So that I'll be selecting that column by holding Ctrl Shift up arrow for selection of that column. So then I want to reduce it a little. I want to take away the salary. It's not part of what I want to select. So I'll be starting from this place. Ctrl Shift down arrow. Then to give it a name, all you just do is come to this place, the name box. Come to the name box, then give it a name. Then I can say lesson, or let me give it my name, Othello. All you just do is hit enter, then that's done. So I've given that column a name. So wherever I am in that worksheet or wherever, I can only reference to that name, and this column also respond. Okay, let's try that out. Okay, let's have the sum which we did here again. Sum. Then instead of me moving to this place to select the values, I won't be doing that again. I won't be doing that again. Let me hit enter first. Oh, I got the same value. So now instead of me getting that range from this place to that place, that's kind of stressful. So what I'll be doing now is, instead of giving me the range, I'll be making reference to that name now, Otelu. Can you see the name is actually showing up as part of what I have here? Then click on it. Can you see that column has been referenced? Then I close my parentheses, then hit enter. Then I'll be getting the same values. Can you see the advantage of the defined names? That's what we refer as defined names. Okay, this defined is actually very useful, such that you can make reference of a particular column which is in one worksheet in another column. Then it's going to respond to you fine and give you your answer accurately. Okay, let's see average. Instead of giving it the cell range, now I'll be calling that name to get that column, enter. Then I'll be getting the same values which I got before. Okay, this is actually the same value, just that I'm having decimal points, some decimal points which I can actually change it in this place. Decrease the decimal points. I want to take everything away, then it's look like what I have there. So that's it. So the maximum, so instead of giving it a range, I'll be getting the same value. Mean Otelu, instead of giving the range. So that's that. This is the advantage of what defined names. Actually very useful. So can you see I achieved this with the cell range and here defined names. Can you see the advantage of defined names? Let me show you again. Let's move again, defined names. Okay, at this place again, I can also make reference of that same name which I have defined. Can you see I'm in another worksheet? I started from this place, the database features. Then now I'm in another worksheet, that's defined names worksheet. Can you see I can make reference of that same name in this same worksheet again. Let's try that out. Okay, then I can say something like sum. If I want to sum up what we have in that same place again, I can still make reference of it in another worksheet. Then sum Otelu. Can you see the name is still responding to me even though I'm not in that same worksheet, which I can still do a lot of things like that. You get that like that. So what I'll be doing now here again, this is the defined name worksheet. I'll be giving this same salary here another name, so I can merge the salary in this database features and the defined names together, so I can get the sum of everything together. So let me give this one as well a name. Okay, coming to this place again, I'll give it a lasso. Okay, I hit enter. So I've given this particular one here lasso, so I can actually make reference to both of them. Look at lasso is now present to what I can make reference to. Even Otelu is also there. So can you see I can do a lot of things with them like that. So let's say I want to get the sum of the salary in this database and the salary in this defined names together. I can do that here as well. Okay, this is what I will do. Equality sign sum. Okay, then I'm making reference of the first name which I did in the database features. Then that's Otelu. I've gotten the name there. Then the comma to add it up with this one again, lasso. Can you see that? Lasso. Then close my parentheses. Then hit enter. Then I'm getting the value of both of them. So can you see defined names actually help you in referencing, so you can do a lot of addition, a lot of analysis within the defined names. It helps you a lot. Okay, I might decide to do something like this. I might decide to do something like this. Okay, do some. I might decide to do something like this. Okay, maybe select some specific place. No. Some. I selected these few columns. Then to add it with Otelu, which I have defined in the database worksheet. So this is it. I want to add this selected place with Otelu, which I have defined in other worksheets. So I hit enter, then I get a value for it. So please note, whenever you are having an hash in a column, it's actually saying that that column is too small for that value. That's what it just means. So to see the value there, all you do is just to expand it, come to this place, then double tap or you drag it. So but double tapping is the best option because it gives you the best size of all the value in that column. So I think I've explained define names and how to use the sum functions. Okay, so we'll be moving to conditional formatting. So firstly, why do we use conditional formatting? What's conditional formatting? If you look at it, okay, what's formatting in the first instance? Okay, formatting is about trying to add a kind of, okay, let me format this table. Look at this table which I've created. I actually formatted the header. What do you think that means to you? It's actually saying that I've added some kind of beautifying good presentation to that header. So yeah, I can say I've formatted that header. So let me format this table for you, so you see what we understand as conditional formatting here. Let me format this table. I've selected everything, then I'll click on format as a table. Because I have a lot of designs I can click on here, because I'm having a blue header. Let me use something related to blue. Okay, then it's actually confirming my selection. Then my table has an header. Use header. Oh, I don't like this formatting. Okay, let me choose. Okay, but you actually notice there's a difference between this table and the previous one. Before I did this, there was a difference. Okay, look at it. I'm having this colored blue line in each rows now, unlike before. So that's what I mean by format as a table. So I'm actually talking about formatting first before I move to conditional formatting. Okay, so and then add this drop down. I can take away this drop down. I'm actually talking about the formatting now. Okay, so this is formatting first before we move to conditional formatting. So I can do some other formatting again. Maybe I don't like this color. I want to pick something else. I can the other ones I can pick. Let me pick something that you would see the difference a lot. Okay, let me pick this. Okay, so I've actually formatted this. I formatted this, but not on any condition. So what's now conditional formatting? Conditional formatting is when you are formatting that table based on a certain criteria or a certain condition. You can see this is actually formatting, like giving it a coloring and something like that. It can actually be very, very helpful. Let me tell you, the two advantage of formatting is that one, it makes it look nice and presentable. That's one advantage of format as a table. And the second advantage of format as a table is that when the new data is added to your table, after your table has been formatted, then the Excel will quickly notice that change. That's one advantage of format as a table. Okay, but basically this is actually format as a table. So let me now tell you what's conditional formatting. Okay, conditional formatting is when you format a particular table based on the condition, based on the criteria, and it actually helps you a lot. And one of the advantage of conditional formatting is that it's kind of give you a summary of your data. The one thing you need to know about data analysis is that data analysts work with large data sets up to millions, up to over thousands and so like that. And there's a need for us to always to summarize this data, because it is actually very hard to have an human to be looking at every data set, to be looking at every values in data sets. Yet we need to know, let's say for example now, like Jumia, they supply worldwide and like that. They supply worldwide and like that. They will be generating a lot of facts, a lot of figures they have sold, a lot of products they have sold in a particular day. So and they would want to know each and every sales, each and how everything is being sold. All those analysis, those are the duty of data analysts. They want to know as everything was being sold, and every analysis of every bit of that data. And it's actually going to be very hard for you to say someone to be looking at every data in an Excel workbook. Let's take this for example now. Look at this data. We have it's actually over 746, and the owner of this business, which has this data, would want to see how every employee is being paid. You want to know as every salary is actually being moving. So things like that. So we can actually summarize our data which you have maybe in Excel workbook or Excel file and stuff like that. We can actually summarize this data with conditional formatting. Okay, so let me briefly explain again. This is format as a table. Format as a table. That's I'm talking about formatting alone. Again, then I didn't format this based on any condition. Just made everything nice. Then conditional formatting is when I format based on a particular criteria, and I will not just format. I will actually format for me to see the summary of that data. Okay, let's move along. Let's say this is the employee name, this is building, this is department, this is status, this is hiring date, the date they hired maybe the employee and so on like that. Then years, benefits, salary, job rating, and new salaries like that. Okay, let's say we want to see the summary of this salary without looking at every salary, without looking at this data one by one. It's going to be very stressful. That is where conditional formatting come in play. Okay, then all I'll be doing is I'll be selecting all the columns down. Then after selecting everything, then I'll click on conditional formatting. Then I can just move here to pick whichever one I want. I can move to the color schemes. I can look at let me pick this. So what has this thing done for me? It's actually summarizing this data for me instead of me trying to look at everything. Okay, no, let me just that one. Okay, I've cleared that formatting. Okay, let me use this one. Okay, it's actually giving different values. It's found there. Coloring, yeah, it's actually look at all the values, all the salary which is present in that column. Look at this one with orange, actually telling us that this person is actually being paid mediumly. This person's salary is not very poor. The one with green are kind of the biggest one among everything there. The biggest one is found in there. So I can, with this conditional formatting, I can quickly tell how many of the employees that are being paid well and which of them are not very paid. The one with red is actually telling us that that this person is actually not actually very paid. Is not being paid very well. Just like that. So it's a way of summarizing your data. So there are different ways of doing conditional formatting. This is one way. So then you can as well go ahead of choosing the coloring. You can as well go ahead to set your constraints, set your rules. Maybe if you find 4,000, give me this column. If you find 6,000, give me this column. Just like that. Those are the things you can do with conditional formatting. Let me apply something like that with this one too. Okay, good. Then I selected my column. With Control Shift down arrow. So then I can do some other things there. I can add bars, I can add icons, I can let's go to this first. I highlight cell rules. Highlight cell rules, then greater than. Highlight cell rules greater than. Let me set my constraints. It has actually given me a constraint, but I can choose to leave it or add my own. 50,000. Highlight cell rules greater than 50,000. Then I'll hit OK. Then this is the color which I want to have there. Maybe can I change it to yellow and so like that. And if I hit OK, I'll be seeing every values that is greater than this amount. Can you see that? This is conditional formatting. The business requirements could just be like, tell us which how many employees actually earning above 50,000. This is how to do conditional formatting to see every employee that is earning above 50,000. Even this data is up to millions, even it's more than thousands, then you can see those values from this conditional formatting like that. You can do a lot of. Let me clear this conditional formatting. I'm actually using Control Shift down arrow to select that column. Clear the formatting. Then let me add another conditional formatting to this particular column, so you can maybe you get it very well. So I can say top or bottom rules. Show me the I can use top 10. Top 10. Nothing is showing here. Okay. You can then click on this. Nothing yet. Oh, okay, it's actually working. Okay, so what that thing has done for me is that it's going to format all top 10 salaries, the highest top 10 salaries in this place. That's what I've done there. Top 10 item. So it's actually going to give you the highest top 10 it's saying there. It's 9,000 and something like that. So it's not going to be more than 10. So that's one of the advantages of conditional formatting. So in essence, it's actually going to help you summarize your data. Maybe you want to see a particular thing, you want to get some particular figures, you are looking for something. So data analysis also, as I've said, if you follow the definition of data analysis I gave you, data analysis also what inspect, clean and transform. So this is a way of inspecting our data, looking for something, looking for a particular something in our data. You know, when we have data filled in our MS Excel sheet like that, so how do you figure out that thing out? So we can figure out things like that with what conditional formatting. Okay, let me do some other examples again. So let me remove the formatting which I have present there before I can apply another one there. Come to this place, then clear formats. Okay, so all I'll be doing again, I'll be selecting that column, then conditional formatting. So I can as well use data bars again to summarize my data. Let me use this. Can you see this? This is a way of showing a kind of a bar column chart in my data. Okay, can you see this is actually very low. This bar is actually very low compared to others, telling you that that value, that salary there is actually lower compared to others. Look at, then you can see as the value keep increasing, the bar keeps increasing. Can you see this one is almost up to this place because the value there is actually increased, actually very large. So this is actually one of the advantage of conditional formatting. So please, to get more understanding about this conditional formatting, all you just need to just come to this place and play around it. There are a lot of things you can deduct from there. Okay, let me clear this formatting and show you some other formatting you might want to have again. Okay, I've selected that column, conditional formatting. Then you can choose to have icon sets. You can choose different things you might want to have. Let me use this one. Can you see I selected the icon and I'm having this. So this is a way of telling me that, oh, this where the place checked is actually a way of telling me that, oh, that place is actually a good salary that person is earning. This person is actually earning a good salary. Then this place I'm having this council side is actually telling me that, oh, that salary is actually poor. Then I'm having this warning sign that, oh, this is average. A lot of things like that. This is a way of summarizing your data when you don't want to be checking everything individually. So conditional formatting will help you in that place. Okay, I'll be showing you how to use the sum if average if function in Excel. So far what you've seen is using just sum function. Look at, we use the sum function to get the sum of all the salaries in this workbook. So we got all the salary for every employee in every department in this workbook. So let's say we want to get the salary of every employee in each department. How can we do that? We can achieve that with the help of what sum if. So that's sum if. That's a way of adding the condition to what we want to sum. So I'll be moving to my sum ifs, count ifs, sum ifs, and average ifs worksheet to do that sum if. Okay, let's start with it. All I'll be doing, I'll be typing my equality sign first. Then I'll be bringing in my function sum if. Open my parentheses. Then it's actually asking me for three things: the range, criteria, and sum range. So this is what we refer as an argument. What this thing is requiring for this range, criteria, and sum range. So these are the things it needs for Excel, for this function to provide us an answer of what we want to achieve. So then range, and this range stands for everything, every column, or the column where I have my criteria in. Don't forget, for this sum if, I want to add a criteria to it to get the sum of that criteria. So that means I want to add a particular department. I want to get the sum of just a particular department, not everything. So now this range is actually actually means every place where all the criteria is combined. If that's every place where you have the status, where you have the different type of status there. So I'll be selecting that thing for that sum, for that range. Then I'll be completing my function here using a comma. That's I'm actually continuing it. I'm actually continuing what I'm typing there. So then the next argument for that thing, I can see it's a criteria. So what's the criteria? My criteria is I want to sum up every salary for in full-time status. So that's my criteria. So this is my criteria, which I can just click on it here. Then use a comma again. After using a comma is actually separating it that okay, this one was for sum range, this one was for criteria, and the next one I'll be typing is for sum range. So this is actually what I want to sum. So that's my sum range. I'll be selecting the whole of that place again, then close the parentheses, then hit enter. Then I should be getting the value of that of every employee in full time. So this is the value of all employees in full time. So that's how we do that. So let's do the same to the contracts. Okay, I'll be in sum if, then the same thing again, range, where all the place where I have all status listed, that is what we refer as the range. All the place where you have all the status listed, because you'll be given it a particular status for it to sum. So where do you have all your status listed? So this is it. So I can as well drag by clicking on this first one, drag it to select that place. I'm actually dragging it. That's by left clicking, then drag, left click and drag. But it's actually stressful. That's why I'm using a shortcut. So that's the shortcut is actually Control Shift down arrow. You have to press it together from the very first data you want to pick. But this is actually stressful. Can you see that? So that's why I'm actually using a shortcut. Control Shift down arrow. That's the shortcut to select every data in a particular column. So I've selected my range. Then I'll be coming to this formula bar. This is what we refer as a formula bar. I'll be using a comma for a separation. Then after separating, then this bolded thing was actually passed to this criteria. Initially, before the comma, it was at the range. So if something is bolded like this, if an argument is bolded like this, it's actually saying that I'm answering the range. I'm on that range. I'm on that thing that is currently bolded. That is why it is bolded. So when I use the comma, then I'm done with the range. I'm now in the criteria. That's the meaning of this bolding you are seeing there. So then I will go pick my criteria now. Which is the contract. Then a comma again, and I'm done. A comma with the criteria. Then sum range. This is what I want to sum. Control Shift down arrow. Press it together. Close my parentheses. Then use enter. Then I should be getting the value for that. Okay, I've gotten all the values for all the total salaries for contracts. I can do the same thing to half time like that and something like that. Let me take away this. This is not part of what I'm doing. Okay, the numbers of staff. Let's say you want to know the numbers of staff in full time. Then I can achieve that with the help of what? A count function. Count if. Okay, I want to know the count. How many full time do I have in this data? Instead of counting, I can just select the column, then pick it like that. Counts. Then this is my
actually has two arguments, range and criteria. So then this is my criteria, which is going to count for me. Then close my parentheses, then I should be having my answer. So I'm having 374 full time. I missed this data. Then I can do the same thing to what contract again. Count if. So I want and requesting for two things, range and criteria. So this is what I want to count. Then I can complete it here, comma. Then what is my criteria? Full time. This is my contract is my criteria. Then I close the parentheses. Then I'll get the count of all contract status in this data. Simple as that. So that's how we'll do it. So we can do average salary as well, similar to the sum and count. Okay, average. This is the status. Comma. So I want to look for the average of all full time. Oh, I use just average alone. No, I'm supposed to use average if, not average. Average if. Then the criteria will change. The arguments will change rather. So then I'm done with range. Then the criteria is, this is what I want to know the average salary of all full time. So then a comma for separation. Then the average salary. So this is where it's going to perform its functions. The salary here. Click on it, then Ctrl Shift down arrow, close the parentheses here. You can continue it from here, then hit enter. Then I'll be getting the average salary of just for that criteria, for that full time alone. So let me do the same thing again to contracts. Average if. Select where I have where my criteria is part of. That's the list of everything. Then contract, which is my criteria. Then average range. This is it. Then I can come here to the formula bar, then close my parentheses, enter. Okay, so that's how you keep doing the rest of them like that. So that's the basic thing about this function, is that you need to know its arguments. What is it requiring? So you can see each of every function you open, there is different arguments for them. So what we refer as an argument is just those things you see when you input a function. Look at like sum now, for example. Now I did sum, open a parenthesis, and I'm having number 1, number 2. That's what we refer as an argument. So that's this is what we refer as an argument, number 1, number 2, and something like that. If I use sum if, I'll be having a different arguments, range, criteria, and sum range. So you need to provide the arguments by separating all of them with a comma. So after providing one argument, you separate it with a comma, then this bold something will be passed to the one you are currently providing. So that's one thing to know about functions. Then I'll be taking another. This is one advanced function which you have in Excel, which I'll be showing you in this lesson to round up functions. One of the important ones you need to know. So VLOOKUP. I'm in the VLOOKUP worksheet. And what's the advantage of VLOOKUP? You can see I'm having hash. As I've said earlier, it's saying that the values, the space set for the value there is actually too small. So to get to see the value there, all I'll do is come to this edge, then double tap it. Then I'll be having the best fit of space for that value there. Okay, that's fine. So now, let me show you how to use the VLOOKUP in Excel. Okay, and what's the function of the VLOOKUP? The VLOOKUP is the way of extracting data from a master list. Let's say this is a master list, and let's say for example in a school where we have carryover students. Okay, this is the list of all students, and these are the matric number of carryover students, and this is the list of everybody. So now the school require us to provide a list of all carryover students, and it's going to be very very stressful to say, okay, I want to be writing out everything one by one. Think about if you have millions of data, we have millions of people attending that schools, and we have 500 of them who are carryover students, and we want to return every names of the carryover students. It's going to be very stressful by saying you want to be typing everything one by one. So we can achieve that by using the function VLOOKUP. So that's the best example to explain a VLOOKUP. So let's try to see how to use a VLOOKUP. As I've said, this is just an overview and the summary of the class our physical class we end. So, and if you need a master class training, so you let me know as well. So let's apply the VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. Okay, I'm typing my function equals this sign VLOOKUP. Then it actually has 4 arguments: the lookup value, the table array, the column index number, the range lookup. Okay, what's my lookup value? This is my lookup value. Okay, you notice that one thing you need to know, that this lookup, these values I'm having, this SSS hash, let's like a serial number or like a matric number, are actually present in this place. So it's actually what I'm going to do. I'm telling Excel to look for this value in this place and help me return the employee name. Wherever you find this employee, wherever you find this lookup value like a matric number in this place, return the employee name for me. That's what I'm trying to do in this place. Okay, so I've given the lookup value, let's say the matric number, then I'll use a comma. So what VLOOKUP does is that I don't know what's wrong with this. So what VLOOKUP does is that it's going to look vertically. One basic requirement of VLOOKUP is that what I want to look up to must be present in the first column of where I have my master list. So what VLOOKUP will do is that it's going to look for this lookup value in the first column of my master list. This is my master list, and this is the carryover students which I want to extract from this master list. I hope you didn't forget. Okay, so I've given the lookup value which is going to check from this place. Then my table array, this is the whole of my table. This is all of my table. Then I'll give it, okay, I'm selecting the whole of that table. You can drag yours. I'm actually using a shortcut. Look at it. You can just click on the first one and drag it. Then, but because it's kind of stressful, that's why I usually use a shortcut. And the shortcut, just click on the first thing you want to select. Click on the first thing you want to select. Click on the first thing you want to select. Then use click on the first thing you want to select. Control Shift right arrow. Then to pick the data down, you just use Control Shift down arrow. Separate it with the comma. Separate it with the comma. Let me continue what I'm doing here. So okay, I use this is my table array. I've selected the whole of the table. Then it's saying column index number. What I want to return actually here is actually the employee name, and the employee name is actually present in my master list in the second column. That's 1, 2. So I'll be giving 2, comma. So then this place you have to give it either true or false. True stands for approximate match, then false for exact match. So I'll be giving it false. That's exact match. Close my parentheses. Then I'll be getting my employee name instead of typing it. Do we get that? So this can actually help us in a very long way of returning our data. Okay, I think we've saw that. So let me take it away. Let me show you how it's going to be very flexible and return every data at once. Now, okay, that's basically how to use the VLOOKUP to return the employee name. Let me use it again to return the department name. Okay, I'll update VLOOKUP, the lookup value, VLOOKUP, comma, the lookup value, comma. Then I want to return the department name. The department name falls in the third column in this in the master list. 1, 2, 3. Then I'll provide it 3, comma. Then give it false. That's exact match. So I should be having the department name return. Simple as that. Okay, but one thing that is wrong with this VLOOKUP is that it's actually returning just the department name alone. So it's actually not doing all the job I want it to do. So there's a way we can adjust this VLOOKUP function to make it dynamic, to provide all this data for us just by applying this function in just a particular cell. Let me show you that. I'll briefly explain. I'm actually briefly explaining that. As I've said, it's actually a summary and an overview. I'm briefly explaining it. Okay, at this employee, I'll be modifying my function in this place to such that I can get the employee name, the department name, and the salary. Just like, okay, I want to return all these details of the carryover students. You know, it's going to be very stressful for me to be typing one by one. So I can modify my VLOOKUP to make it dynamic. So I'll be including a function which is what match, which is the match function to help me. I'll be combining it with VLOOKUP so I can get all this value at once. And I'll be doing what we refer as what relative and absolute reference. I'll briefly explain that in a moment as I keep doing this. Okay. Okay, equal to sign VLOOKUP, then my lookup value. So I'll briefly explain what refers relative reference and absolute reference. Okay, we have 2 types of reference in Excel. We have the relative reference and absolute reference. Okay, relative reference is a way of doing is a way of applying a function to a particular place. And I don't want to always move to that cell again, or move to another cell range to apply that same function. I can easily drag and get the answer. But let me show you a practical example of it. Let me quickly show you a practical example of it. Okay. Let me show you a practical example of a relative reference. Okay, look at something now. Just for example, just an example now. Okay, I'm summing up this. So I'm getting the sum of this and this. If I drag this down, I'll be getting a value. So this is what refers to relative reference. So this relative reference is that it's going to do similar thing which I've done in this place to the place I've selected. So but the selection range will be different. It's going to be moving one step downward. Look at this. Was the place I selected to get this answer. If I select the place, it's going to move downward. That's what we refer as relative reference. It's going to be moving downward. So it's going to apply that same function which I've done to one cell and move downward to where I've selected to get the answer for me. So it's going to be moving downward. That's what we refer as relative reference. So, but let's say you don't want that thing to keep moving downward. That's what we refer as absolute reference. You don't want it to be moving downward. You don't want it to be moving downward. You just want to be getting the answer which you have gotten in that first place. So let me take away this. Look at. I've selected. This is the place I want to add now, for instance. So this is how to do absolute reference. All you do is hit on F4, then close the parentheses. I'll be getting that same value which I got now. But the difference between this one is that if I drag down now, I'll be getting the same values. Because why I'm getting the same value is that F4 has make that place I've selected static, has make that place not to change. That F4 I've made that place. If I click on this place, unlike the previous one, as I was moving downward, my selection also moved downward with me. So that's different between relative reference and absolute reference. This is just a brief class, so as I've said. Okay, so let me, because I'll be using relative reference and absolute reference in the VLOOKUP. That's why I briefly explained this. So I think I can take it away now. So equal to sign VLOOKUP equal to sign VLOOKUP. Okay, I want to return the employee name, the department, salary, and everything. So I can achieve that using the relative and absolute reference. So this is my lookup value. I don't know why this Excel file is like this. So that's my lookup value. So what I'll be doing is I'll be applying a kind of absolute reference to that thing, because I don't want that lookup value to always change, because I have all my lookup value in a particular column. So I can do something like hitting F4, like so as to lock the H column, So I'll be, this time around I won't be clicking F4 once, I'll be taking it twice. No, thrice. So just to lock that column. So that dollar sign, you see when I click on F4, I'll be having a dollar sign on whatever I clicked on. So, and wherever I have that dollar sign in front is what I'm locking. So currently I'm having this dollar sign in front of H. So that means I'm locking this column. I'm making this column absolute, because I have all my lookup value in this place. A comma. I don't know why this is like this, but let's continue it here. Okay, then my lookup, my table array, that's what it's requesting now. So I'll give it the whole of the table, selecting that place, down. Then I'll be clicking on F4. Wait, that's this down. I'll be clicking on F4. I'm telling Excel that I don't make that selection for all of them. I'm trying to make that place absolute for all of them. This lookup function might confuse you a little bit, but as you keep learning, you will get it. So before I've been giving it a static value like 2, 3, the column index number. Now instead I won't be using 2, 3, because I want to make this function dynamic. I'll be using the function called match. Okay, then this match again as an argument. Then this match, what it does is that it's going to look at the name, the header for me, and provide me wherever I see that same match. Provide me the result or wherever I find under that name. Okay, this is my lookup value for the match. Look at lookup value for the match. That's it. Then F4. I'll be using F4 to look up the header value, which is the lookup value for the match. I've locked that row. I've locked that place by clicking F4 like I think twice. So I'll be having the dollar signs in front of the row number, which is 5. Then this is the lookup value. This is lookup value for the match. I'm going to log that away by clicking on F4, and I'm having dollar signs in everything, comma. Then I'll be having 0. Then here you'll be having 1 or 0 or -1. So 0 actually stands for exact match. I'll be using 0 there to get the exact match. Then I'll be closing the parentheses. After closing the parentheses, then I use a comma again to move back to my lookup value, my lookup function. So then I'll be using match false, as I've always done. False. Then I'll be getting this value. Okay, so I got the employee name. I think that's right. What do we have? Anderson Terry. Let's look for Anderson Terry if that's the right answer. Okay, Anderson Terry, is it? So then is this lookup value, is it the same lookup value we have here that we have here? 576 blah blah blah. I think that's right. So now with this answer which I've gotten, I can just drag and get the details of all the rest like that without doing any more stress again. All I'll do is just to drag to the right side. That means oops, I got a wrong value. I'm supposed to be having the department name here. I'm having any not available, and the salary like a date. I think I know where the issue is coming from. Okay, it's actually not working because I'm having departments here. Look at this header. I'm having departments here and depth here. So if I correct this, I'm supposed to get the right answer. So that function match, what it's doing is that it's going to look for where it find that header, exactly that match of that header. You have to give it exact. They have to have the same match before that function would work. As soon as I change the department header, it's actually reflected accounting accounting management. Then this place I'm having, let me click and see where the error is coming from. Oh, I think it's actually right, but what you need to do is tell Excel that okay, what is there is actually a number. By clicking on the whole of that column, then click on number, then having the values, having that same values there, then you might choose to decrease the decimal number there. So I think, let me check that. Anderson Terry, accounting management and the salary. Can you see I've actually returned the employee name, the department, salary without even typing anything. So then I can get the employee name of all of them like that by just clicking and dragging from that edge. No, double tap it here, then I'll get all the employee name. Can you see? With the help of VLOOKUP. Can you see? Simple as that, without stress. Look at how I use VLOOKUP to get all these values, and every values there are actually accurate. So these are the advantage of VLOOKUP. So let's say we want to return values up to 100,000. VLOOKUP would have helped us. So by just doing these little few things we have done there. So that's basic things I'll be talking to you about VLOOKUP here. So then the last thing I want to talk about is how to plot. Okay, the very last thing I want to talk about is how to plot with MS Excel. Okay, to do that, all I'll be doing is, let me use the new worksheet. Okay, sheet 3 now. Okay, let me use the same worksheet. Okay, let me add a new worksheet. Let me take away this out. Okay, I've added a new worksheet. So I don't have any data here. Let me come here. Let me copy some of this data so I can plot with it. So you can see how to plot with MS Excel. Okay, I've selected the lot of that data, copy. Then I paste it to my MS to a new worksheet so I can plot with it. You can see I'm having a hash. That's saying that that space is too small for that value. Okay, so to plot this data, to plot, I'm talking about plots. You want to do a chart, you want to do some basic charts of it in MS Excel. So all you just do is, the first advisable thing you need to do is format it as a table. Select everything, then format as a table. So I'm clicking format as a table. The reason of format as a table, as I've said earlier, is that one, it's kind of beautify your data. It's kind of beautify data you have, and it's take note of any data that is added. When there's a new data that is added to that table, it's going to quickly reflect that change in whatever you have been doing so far. So after formatting it as a table, that's done. Then you can just select any cell of the table, then go to insert, then click on the pivot chart and pivot table. Good. Then it will have some few questions. Okay, it's actually saying select a table or range. This is the name of the table. This is the name of the table that you have selected, that you want to plot on, of this current table 2. So then it's saying, where do you want to have your pivot table and report? Is it a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? Do you want to have it to be on the same worksheet or a new one? Then I'll click on OK. Then it's going to open on a new sheet for me. So on that same worksheet, then I can move to this place. Okay, then so I'll be having this. This is what I'll be having. Then I'll be having this power chart field. Then here I can always just tick at whatever I want to plot. Tick on it. Then I'm having this employee name in the ASICs. Then I can go to maybe the salary. Then it's going to go to the values. Then I'm seeing a bar chart because of this. The employees are much. That is why it is like this. I'm actually seeing a bar chart like that. I can filter it to make it very clear. I can filter it to make it very clear. Right click on it. Right click on it. Let me take this somewhere. I can right click on it to choose filter. Okay, to make this bar chart very clear, I can just filter it. So for you to have understanding, just click on this data, right click on it, then you'll be having filter. You can say okay, keep top 10, keep top 10, show top 10. Okay, top 10 not too small, let me increase it like 20. Okay, then I'll be saying top 10 employee with top 10 salary. That's what I'll be having in this pivot table and in the pivot charts. Can you see, just to make this thing simple? That's why I did that like that. So we've built a bar chart. From that data we are seeing the top 10 employee with the highest salaries. That we are seeing a bar chart of everything. Okay, top 20 rather, top 20 salary, top 20 employee with the highest salary. This one, two, three, and a lot of them like that. Then you can clearly see okay which one is the highest and which one is the lowest among the top 20 like that. So like there is kind of, so, and what's the advantage of having a visualization or a bar chart of which represent our data? It's kind of a way of summarizing our data for any person who wants to know the details of what we have in our data, who wants to see every bit, who wants to get an information from this data. So without anyone telling me, with this bar chart I can quickly see the highest person, I can see okay which is the lowest, and a lot of them like that. So I can create a lot of visualizations from in Excel. Okay, I've done this is the bar chart. Let me move this somewhere. Okay, okay, let me create a pie chart and I'll be stopping there for today. I'll be moving to where I have my data. Okay, there's it again. Then all I'll just do is click on it again, click on pivot chart and table the way I did it before. Then to allow me to create another chart again, it's going to open a new worksheet again. Then I can click on that same thing. Okay, maybe department by the salary. Just click on it here. Then it will be moving down to this place, so because I have few departments, that's why this one is not rough. So I might choose not to make it a bar chart. Then I'll just right click, then move to change chart type, then pie chart. Then I can pie chart and it's okay. So like that. So I've created a pie chart on that same data, so I can see different information from that data. I can tell which departments actually earning the highest, like that, and so on. So those are the basic things I would want to show you in this video. So I believe you all get something. So whichever questions you have, direct it to my email and I'll be dropping my number and email to you, so you can give me your questions and I'll be answering them in another video again. Thank you.